Hello everybody, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm giving you guys a video in Jacksonville, Florida. I will be talking about Palantir. There's a lot of news that happened out of the last week, and I wanted to make sure to give you guys a absolutely barn burner of a recap. I'm in Jacksonville if you guys are curious, because I am going to be buying some real estate here in the next 9 to 15 months or so. So I came here for a real estate convention. I actually met up with one of my subscribers, my man Cheeps. And he's actually a contractor here in Florida. So shout out to my man Cheeps. He's also a reserve fighter pilot teacher in the United States Navy. Let me talk about Palantir this last week. This is a tweet from one of our community leaders when it comes to Twitter. His name is Chad Palantir, and he does this weekly recap. And I try to give him some shine as much as I can. And I try to give as much shine as possible to the entire Twitter community, because it seems like we get all the love as YouTube personalities, while the Twitter heads are putting in tons of work without the recognition. So I'm going to take a moment right now to give them some love. He puts out this tweet. He says, week recap. The Hertz partnership was announced. 4 new Federal Advisory Board members. Earnings date set for November 7th. New UK base planned. Morgan Stanley maintains an equal weight rating at $10 per share. And Homes for Ukraine resettles 100,000 refugees with Foundry. I actually wanted to concentrate today's video for the UK-based plan and Homes for Ukraine. That was the point of today's video. And I found it funny that he was doing this in the weekly recap. And I also just wanted to give a little bit of shine to my man Raichi. He comes out with amazing stuff. He's also on Twitter. Give him some love. Chad Palantir and Raichi. There are other people in the community, but definitely give these two a shout out. I try to give as much love as I can to the entire Palantir community. This is an article that came out from Bloomberg. It says Palantir plans to open a new United Kingdom's base near the NHS digital headquarters. As you know, the NHS has a massive contract that is estimated to be worth $1 billion over the next 10 years. We are at the forefront. We are it's our contract to lose type of thing. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty with what's happening in the UK. Boris Johnson got, evicted from his position, tossed from office. Liz Truss takes over, and now she's getting evicted from office. And there's possibility of Boris Johnson coming back, probably for Palantir. Boris Johnson coming back would be one of the best possible things, because we already have established relationships with him. So the company wants to relocate some of its 900 London-based employees. Guys, just please pay attention. When I first started covering Palantir, they had 250 employees. They wanted to double it to 500. Then that number was 600. And then last time I wrote about Palantir, they had 850. And now this says that they have 900 London-based employees. Now you just got to put the numbers together. You got to put the math together, connect the dots. They keep hiring a shit ton of people when it comes to the United Kingdoms. They keep expanding internationally, and probably the UK is our second largest market, followed probably by the European Union as a whole. So the fact that they keep increasing their employees in the United Kingdoms gives me a lot of high hopes, not only for the NHS contract, which is massive in itself, but also for so many other lucrative contracts, both government, defensively, non-defensively in government, and as well as huge mega corporations. The firm hired former Labour Member of Parliament Lord Whaley to advise on the location. The American data analytics company plans local hires and to move some staff from its London office to a new outpost, it said in response to a Bloomberg News query. And I quote, "We are actively looking at expanding outside of the capital, both because of the growing amount of work we are doing across the country, and we can access the best British talent." Then they go on to talk a little bit about the Palantir contract with the NHS. So as I said, it's $1 billion over 10 years, like estimated total, because once, we got that contract, they're not just going to go away. We're just going to keep building on that. But the actual numbers from the news articles is a $404 million contract. Mescal said that the new office could also support work funded by the Department of Leveling Up, housing the communities in the region. Last week, the department disclosed it awarded Palantir a $4.5 million contract to continue work that it has been doing since April. providing a case management system to help allocate housing and resources to Ukrainian refugees, which is going to bring me to the second part of this video, where I want to explain to you the absolutely massive potential and massive power of Palantir. So this is actually from the Palantir website. It's a Palantir blog. You guys should all follow the blogs. And it says, ensuring the resettling and safeguarding of refugees fleeing the war in Ukraine. An estimated 12 million people have fled their homes since Russia's brutal invasion of the Ukrainian region, according to United Nations, with each country in Europe and beyond stepping up to come to the assistance of Ukraine and those displaced. Guys, I'm going to keep reading. Whether you agree, don't agree, this side, that side of what's happening right now, just understand, strictly from a Palantir point of view, strictly from a Palantir can do amazing things that most other companies, if any, can even come close to doing. Just understand the massive undertaking of settling all of these different refugees across of Europe coming in mass numbers. This is thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of data points that needs to be addressed, combed through, and processed in near real time. And again, Palantir for the win. The UK government launched the Homes for Ukrainian scheme built on Palantir Foundry software with the aim of providing a safe passage and resettlement to refugees. The scheme received more than 120,000 offers to house Ukraine refugees in just about 24 hours. And in total, the British public offered more than 600,000 bed spaces to help home those displaced. Since its inception in March 18, 2022, that's when it was announced that we're helping with the refugee crisis of Ukrainians. The scheme has received more than 159,000 visa applications. The Homes for Ukraine platform, powered by Foundry, has helped ensure the safe matching and resettlement of over 100,000 Ukrainian refugees. That's over the last 6 months, guys. Palantir is a freaking monster. More than 2,000 local authority caseworkers across all councils in the England and Northern Ireland use the platform to manage the process end-to-end, drastically speeding up the time taking to get refugees safely accommodated and their sponsors resettled in the UK, prioritizing speed, safety, and security. Within just 3 days, the Home Office of the Department of Levelling Up Housing Committees was able to stand up an initial solution in Foundry to collect, secure, and act on the data. Guys, within 3 days. 3 freaking days. Again, Palantir is like the software for software. They allow you to build your software on top of the Palantir software, right? Palantir Foundry is like the base, and then you can build your software on top of that. And everything you build can be built on top of this, as opposed to if you, and it can be done super fast, as opposed to if you're using other AI data analytics. Not that they would even have the capability, but what you would have is, you would have their software, and then you can't build on top of their software. They would need to be able to integrate somebody else's software and somebody else's software. They're not an all-in-one solution, and that's the difference. And that takes a lot longer to set up. Now, I keep saying this, all of this government contracts, both domestically and abroad, are going to translate into huge commercial contracts, because at the end of the day, if they can take this setup and set you up in 3 days and take you from absolute chaos to something symbolizing some sort of calm, some sort of organization, and some sort of maximizing the efficiency and actually getting something done, well, then you can take any company that's absolutely foobarred and fix them up, get them running, and get them productive, get them efficient, get them making more money. You see the translation here between government and commercial. Capable of handling incoming data, integrating with existing systems in government departments and developed administrations, and running the operational workflows for local authorities and platform. The platform began supporting the safeguard of arrivals, data collection, and collaboration during times of conflict. With all the necessary data secure in one place, local authority users could then work on records, with Foundry offering the tools to deduplicate or group visa applications into the right family units before carrying out safeguarding checks. That greatly decreases the likelihood of errors and speeds up the resettlement process. The visa application form and initial visa checks feed directly into Foundry from the Home Office, allowing local authority caseworkers to record necessary background checks prior to the refugees arriving in the UK without ever leaving the platform. And as always, I did not pre-read this article. I love to read an article, give you my live reactions, and to see if the article is going to essentially follow my train of thought. And if that happens, then hey, pat yourself on the back, Adam. Palantir makes sense for you. And so far, that's what happens in every single article that I read. Essentially what I was saying was reiterated in this article. Guys, Palantir is a freaking beast. And I want to just say one thing. My man Arnie came out with a newsletter where he says that the growth of Palantir is exponentially bigger than what everybody thinks. I'm going to leave a link to his Twitter down below. And Palantrillion also came out with a really, really dope video about the massive growth potential of Palantir. I am going to leave a link to his video down below in the description. I did not fully watch it yet, but he did come out with a tweet that I did read. I'm probably going to watch that video and maybe make a video on something similar. Shout out to both of them. Shout out to Chad Palantir. Shout out to the entire community of Palantir. Shout out to Rachie. And most importantly, you. Shout out to you for supporting my channel. I appreciate you to the absolute fullest. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm out.